But when it comes to hope, you wrote in your book, hopelessness is deadlier than brain cancer.
That's right.
Why do you say that?
Well, this has actually been really well studied. If a person has a diagnosis or a problem and they lose hope, they die sooner, they have more trouble, they take more medicine, they have more readmissions to the hospital, they have more marital problems, they drink more alcohol, they have more financial issues than those people who maintain a hopeful attitude and some sort of belief system that there's a meaning or a purpose to what they're going through. That's been really clearly shown. And so what we've seen is people who have, and we'll parse that out, I'm sure, in our conversation here, but people who have something hard happen to them and they despair and they become embittered by it, even if they recover from their illness, many of them never find their way back to being okay again. So even if they survive the problem, they don't make it back to being happy or having any kind of meaningful life again. And this is the person that you bump into on the street 20 years after their wife left them or 20 years after their child died. And it's still all they can talk about. You see them and they're on their way home from a support group because they're still unable to move past that thing. And that's nothing against hope support groups, of course, but to say that there are some people who get stuck in that place of bitterness and brokenness. And that's why I say hopelessness is worse than brain cancer, because some people that develop brain cancer maintain a hopeful, positive life, and they maintain their faith and their hope, and they build a good story that their kids can tell. Look how mom fought that, and she never wavered, and she knew what she believed, and she knew where she was going. And those people, they don't die in their spirit, even as their bodies die. That's what Paul was talking about in Corinthians when he says, our outward bodies are decaying, but our inwardly we're being renewed. And so I began to see that clearly as I studied, how do we help people find their way back again after all these things happen? It's really about holding on to hope.